Meantime, Just Capital releasing its 2025 list of the 100 most just companies in America this morning, recognizing firms doing right by 5 key stakeholder groups: workers, communities, shareholders, and governance. Customers and the environment. CNBC is Just Capital Media's partner, and we've got an exclusive on the launch of that list. Our Brandon James joins us to reveal the list top 10. Tell us what's going on and how things have adjusted or shifted given the shifting winds of the politics of this moment.
Yeah, and we can definitely get into that too, right? The conversation around DEI and how that weighed into this year's survey. But Just Capital used public data around 17 issues, and this is key, that were identified by the American public as the people's priorities. Worker-related issues like paying a fair and living wage and supporting worker well-being. Ethical leadership emerging this year as a top issue. More Americans looking for transparency and openness from companies. So here's which companies measured up. HPE, for the second year in a row, America's most just company. You see Bank of America, Accenture, Citi, and Cigna all returning to the top 10. Some new names this year like HP Inc., Union Pacific, BNY Mellon. This year, too, you're seeing more utilities, chemicals, and construction companies ranking higher with more representation in the broader Just 100 overall, including Trane Technologies and Eversource Energy in the top 10. Those industries seeing job growth in the U.S. created here, increased transparency and disclosure, plus notable investment in benefits for workers. We'll be looking further into the list throughout the day, into some industry-specific leaders, plus, as we said, the DEI conversation and how it played a role this year. But I'll let you dive further with Paul Tudor-Jones and HPE CEO Antonio Neri later this hour as well.
Okay, so here's my question to you, and I don't know how much you spent time on this. So the good news for HPE, by the way, year over year, the stock is up close to 40%. Mm-hmm. The reason I ask about stock performance is, and we'll talk to Paul Tudor-Jones about this, how much do you think there is actually any kind of correlation between stock performance and being on this list, or at least doing well by this list? The reason I ask is HPE had a great year this past year. Prior to that, it actually had not had a great year, or actually even there was a couple of years that it was sort of a challenge situation. Do you see a correlation?
Yeah, so, and we also have a chart for this, too. We actually chart the Just 100 companies from this year's list against the broader Russell 1000 equal rate, right? And you can see that that index actually does outperform for last year, the broader equal weight Russell 1000 by about 5%. And so I think the conversation there to be had is, if the argument's being made that these companies can't focus in on these core issues, right? Providing a fair and living wage, equitable representation in corporate America, because it's going to impact their return on investment for shareholders. Well, if the stock's outperforming the broader market, can you still make that argument?
Brandon, it is a fascinating question, and one we will be talking a lot more about during the broadcast.
Hope you do.
Paul Tudor-Jones a little bit later. Thank you.
Thanks.